stuff that you can buy at literally throwaway prices. Contact them at 905-361-0773. Manisha Discount Warehouse. DP Jain is a well-known name in the fields of accounting. You can contact him today at his cell number 416-305-0080 or his office number 9057. Welcome to PC24 RETV's segment Social Talk. In this segment, we try to talk about certain issues that are plaguing our lives or our neighborhoods. Who can fix them up? Probably no one other than we ourselves. So once we take it upon ourselves, things start becoming better. There was an old story my mom used to tell me that there was this nest in a field, and the farmer saw it. He looked up at the nest and he loudly spoke, "I will send my servant to clean it up tomorrow." So those little birdlings, the little birds, they were upset. So when mom bird arrived, they told her this is what the farmer said. And mom said, "Don't worry, nothing is going to happen." A few days passed. The birds were growing in the meanwhile, those sibling little birds. They were growing up. And then farmer happened to be in the fields once again, and he uttered the same thing, "I will send someone to clean up this nest. It is a nuisance." The little birds were again shocked, feared. They called their mom and said, "This is what happened." And she said, "Don't worry." So this happened 3, 4 times. Then one day the farmer said, "Okay, I think I will have to clean it up tomorrow early morning." So the birds, the little birds, told their mom, "This is what the farmer said today." And the mom bird said, "It's time to fly." And the little birds were curious. They said, "Mom, you always kept saying, 'Don't worry, don't worry. What changed this time?'" And mom said, "This is because the farmer took it upon himself to do the cleaning job. So now he will definitely do it. So let's run away and you can fly at this point in time. You grew up." So this is what actually happens when you think city is going to come to your rescue all the time and city has limited resources. Talking about Brampton, there are about 670,000 people living in this municipality, and maybe slightly higher number in Mississauga. Caledon has less population, so the overall region of Peel may end up close to 1.75 million people itself. I'm just using a vague estimate. I don't have the population statistics in front of me, but look at the clutter we make everywhere. Whenever you drive into a Tim Hortons, you will definitely notice some strayed cups, plates, envelopes thrown, littered on the ground. And whose responsibility is that? Well, let's talk about this hot topic with none other than a guy who took it upon himself to make city of Brampton litter free by end of 2023. His name is Bill Godfrey. And I won't talk about how old he is, but he is pretty senior. And if he can do it, what stops you from taking that initiative? Let's learn from Mr. Godfrey about his journey into this realm of taking it upon themselves to clean up the city of Brampton. Here we go. Welcome, Mr. Godfrey. I hope you are well.
I am. Thank you, Paul. That was a wonderful story and a great introduction. Totally agree with you 100% about the farmer story. Yeah, we have to all be farmers, except act a little quicker. We all have to take responsibility and not rely on the city all the time. I love the introduction.
Yeah, my mom used to teach us, trying to motivate us to do our own work.
Yes,
And even in our scriptures, it says, nobody can do work better than you yourself.
I love it.
So
I
if
love
I
it.
say it in Punjabi language, which of course you won't understand, it says, Apan hati apna ape hi kam swari, kaj swari, means only you can do the best job yourself. That's what it says. So, Bill, your story, can I call you Bill?
You definitely can.
Thank you, sir. So, we have seen clutter everywhere. We go, and I have seen when I'm stopped at the intersection, I have actually noticed some people sneakingly keeping those used trash, not used trash, I would say just the trash, by opening their doors and slowly leaving it on the road and then driving off when the light turns green. This is so despicable. I do not like it, but it is right in the middle of the road. And those people don't care about it. So, what changed in you that you took to this path? I want to know your story from the beginning.
Well, I've always cared about the environment. I'm an outdoors person. I love canoeing. I love rock climbing. So, of course, I've always hated to see litter, especially in environments where you're, a few days away from civilization. Even there, you'll find litter. So it's always bothered me, but I never actually became like the farmer for quite a while. For many years, I had litter, I would say I had litter blindness. I wasn't even aware of the litter that was around me. If you asked me what it was like 10 years ago, I would say, I really don't know. I can't
Mhm.
remember. It's and then one day I saw my neighbor, I guess it was about 6 years ago. He came out from behind the park, from the park,
Mhm.
from it's behind my house, and he had a bag of trash. And it was like a light bulb went off. It was just like, why not? I had been behind my house. It's a very dense area, but a lot of litter has been there for decades. And I walked back there, and I would always be disgusted, but never consider doing anything. But when I saw him, it was just that why not moment, and I started doing that. And I would go out, and every other day I would go out and go jogging. And before I jog, I'd pick up some litter, and I was digging out trash because when you haven't touched an area for decades, that trash is buried. But it started to feel so
Yes.
great and so wonderful. And I did that for a few years off and on. And then 2020, the start of COVID,
Mhm.
I was walking down the Tobico Creek Trail and looking across the creek with my wife. And I saw the plastic bags hanging on the bushes. And that's when my obsession, my real obsession started with cleaning up the environment. I just could not tolerate it. And because of COVID, now I had no excuse. I couldn't rock climb anymore. And I just began. I told my wife, I said, I'm going to clean that up. And her first reaction was, oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. It's COVID. You're going to hurt yourself. She is aware that when I get obsessed with things, I do
Yeah.
go overboard, and I can be dangerous to myself, or at least a hazard, you know. And I had to do it secretly for a while. She was a late
Okay.
riser. Oh yeah, she would get up. She would go to bed very late. She would get up very late. I had to get out early in the morning. As soon as the sun hit, I'd get out and clean up. And when I get back, she said, "Where were you?" Well, I was jogging, and that that worked for a while. Like I was out 100 days in a row for 4 hours every day. But one day she noticed that I went out at like 7 o'clock and didn't get back till 11. She says, "You're jogging for 4 hours." Then I had to confess, well, actually, I am picking up litter, and I was like, oh, and at first she was like, oh, please don't. But, she's on board now. She was just concerned for me. And
Absolutely.
once I, yeah, and once I started that, before I never got attention. And you'll find that most people that pick up litter, I'd say 99%, well, probably all of us, we're not seeking attention. We're not seeking glory or anything. We just cannot stand the litter. But what I noticed
Well,
was 2020, I started getting in the creek and I was pulling out bicycles and picnic tables and rusted barrels. And people were starting to notice. And I'd get lots of thank yous because now I was in an area that people could see me. Before I was back in an area no one could see me. It was thick brush. I love getting
yeah.
those areas. Once you clean it up, you know it's going to stay clean because not many people go there. So I decided then, you know, I need to do something different. I need
Mm-hmm.
to use this. You know, maybe I can motivate other people. So I have no idea how to do it. I just started a Facebook group, you know, and even then I had to be a little devious because I knew it's
Mm-hmm.
catching attention. So how do you catch more attention? Well, I made two very huge collections of trash. I saved up a week's supply. Pull out the shopping carts, leave them in the bush. Pulled out a
Mm-hmm.
picnic table that I had to cut up in pieces and drag out. I put it in the bush, and then I brought it all out on a weekend. And that's what you'll see on the Facebook post as one of my displays. That got a lot of
Yes.
attention, a lot of awareness, and that's what I use with my Facebook page, and that started. Still, I had a big problem. I've always been a loner all my life. I had no intention of getting out with other people. I can do it
Mm-hmm.
myself was always my attitude, which is not a good attitude. You know, it's a team, it's a team effort. We all have to work together. One doesn't call for some lone hero, you know, out to solve all the problems of the world himself. It doesn't work. We all have to work together, support one another. So I
Yeah.
had my Facebook page, and I remember one day, and I keep on telling people this story because I never intended group cleanups, but I was cleaning up a sewer grate from the storm sewers, you know, the grates, all the trash collected that washes in from the street down the storm sewers and collects on the grates. And it's
Mm-hmm.
disgusting job, you know. And I was cleaning up, I posted on about it. And one lovely lady said, because I didn't finish, she said, well, I'll help. And my first reaction was, well, no, I don't need her help. And then I thought, Bill, you've got to change. You can't keep on being a loner. You know, you can't this social
Yeah.
anxiety I've had all my life. I've always been extremely shy. I had to change. So I said, okay, her name was Melody Papagiannidis. And we went out. And she was a wonderful lady. And when I saw how dedicated she was, and she was getting litter not just from the grate, which was terrible, but in the bushes and like in the brush that was heavy. I thought, wow, this is the way to go. And 3 days later, we had a cleanup with her husband, another gentleman, and it was our first Hal cleanup. That was June 20th, 2020. And since then, we've
You
had
remember
over
that so
200.
vividly, huh?
Also, I'll never forget it because I so much appreciate what she did for me. She showed me that people are wonderful, Bill. There is no reason to be anxious about being out with people that care. People that clean up the
Yes.
planet, they are special people. They're so unselfish, so caring, and fun people. Fun people. You love them. They're amazing. We get out there, we get dirty, we get filthy, but we're laughing. We're laughing, you know. And that
Yeah,
started the group,
because you don't put too much attention to where you are getting into. You are
you
focused on
know.
one thing, cleaning this particular creek or park or trail or
Oh
whatever,
yes,
and that's what drives you.
yes. I've
So,
seen myself. I remember one time seeing a golf ball, and it really annoyed me. It was in this thick brush, and I thought, how am I going to get that? I had to crawl in. I had to crawl in under a thorn bush to get it, but the people in our group, they're so wonderful. We cannot tolerate it. We cannot tolerate any piece of litter. We don't just go for the easy stuff. We go for anything we think, number one, makes our planet look ugly, but another one could be a hazard to our wildlife. So yeah, we'll crawl in through those bushes and we'll get marks. I got all kinds of marks all over me from thorn bushes and things, you know, and that's what we do. That's what we do. And not me. There's so many wonderful people that do the same thing. Tremendous people.
that is very inspirational. Like you used a word called you were blind to this thing before until you saw your neighbor cleaning up, and that kind of triggered something. That was always there, but you didn't pay attention to that. So once you got the hang of it, you were into this big time. And I thought only I lie to my wife. So I can proudly say that there are people like me who lie to their wives too.
Well, it's more what do you call it? A white lie, just a little wee fib, you know,
Yeah, it is a harmless lie. That's
harmless
okay.
lie.
And,
This
and
is the
wives
thing
are
about
always so careful about their husbands if you have mutual love and care. Otherwise, some people say, okay, it's better that I get rid of this person.
oh no, never, never. You know, you mentioned a good thing about litter, and I try to stress that people, and maybe even consciously we're not aware, but every time we walk past a piece of litter,
Yeah.
a little bit of
How does your
self-respect
typical
that
day
we,
look like, sorry, Mr. Godfrey? Excuse me for that.
well, you know what? Unfortunately, now because I'm in the PAL, My day looks like right now, me in my laptop doing all this laptop stuff. I want to
Hmm.
get more time. I have to get more of a team. I want to get back out in the bush, get back out in the creek. We have a crew that we try to get out at least once a week to Tobico Creek, and that is horrendous there. The last time we went, we got 5 shopping carts, like 3 bicycles, and all
Hmm.
kinds of other trash in a very small area. And there's still 5 shopping carts left that we have to get. So most of my time, and this is I'm putting on weight now. I'm putting on weight. I've lost. 2020, I
Think
was out
so?
every day and getting it nice and slim and everything. It's great exercise now because I have so much responsibility here.
Yeah.
This is the
I
problem.
have some photos from your work, and I see all this trash there, which you have pulled out and did a tremendous job with this. Who will do these things? I see that you get into the muddy waters and you don't even blink an eye. You just go there and you are knee deep into those marshy areas. Are you never afraid that you may slip? It's kind of so tricky lands there.
Before I mention what about that, to answer that picture there. Now the city works with this. I got the city to pick that up because there's certain things that are beyond our safety perimeter of safety. And it's a good
Hmm.
thing I did because the city got back to me about those pallets and they said, Bill, there were wasps there. 3 of my people got stung. I mean,
Yeah,
we've cleaned up some terrible stuff like homeless areas and old encampments. I'm trying now. I'm going to focus more on doing the safer stuff and let the city do the really tough stuff. But in the creek, do I worry about it? No, I mean my biggest worry is that I'm going to wreck my iPhone if I fall in the water. I'm never going to drown. Never. First of all, I'm a really good swimmer, but I'm never in water over my head. And
yeah,
yes, I worry about slipping. It is very treacherous. That's why I only let couple people come in and they have
yeah,
to understand that listen, there is a very real possibility you're going to slip in here, and it is
yeah.
hazardous. You
Slip
got
in
to be
there,
tricky.
catch some
Oh
bacteria, some diseases,
yes,
it
yeah,
can be very scary. So I'm happy that you are enlisting the service of city, and they must be
oh
thankful
yes.
that you brought it to their notice. So now they can go and just do the stuff.
Well, I have to give the city credit again. There's a lady in Parks, and her name is Jessica Scott, a
Hmm.
wonderful lady. And back in the day when I first had my Facebook page up, I think it was about 1 month later, I got this mysterious message saying, Bill, I think I can help you, from this lady named Jessica Scott, who I had no idea who she was. And
Hmm.
talked to her, and 5 days later, I had 6 litter pickers, 6 that she donated. That actually gave me the means to have start the group cleanups. And since
Yes,
then, they
and
have
that in a
supplied me with
safe
license.
manner.
Yes, because but when I first started, Paul, I didn't have a litter picker. I think it was after 2 weeks, my back. I had back problems because I was
I
bending
was
over.
coming to that. It is
Yeah,
really heavy on your back because you bend down, you
it
get up,
is.
you bend down, you get up,
Oh,
and like I am in 60s now. I cannot be that active as I used to be back then. So after
oh,
slight
you're a
work,
young
I
man.
do get I do start getting those cramps. So I need to make sure I'm not overworking. But picking litter is doing the stuff again and again, and it definitely weighs heavy on your back.
Yes, and I want to stress that to people. One of the things I worry about the Facebook page, I don't want people to be intimidated by what we do.
Yep.
It's equally as important to just do the easy pickups in the parks, even more important, and if you get a decent picker that's you can get ones that like a high, you don't have to bend over very much. And it's
Yeah.
not a strain. Like when I was first doing it, the litter was so thick, I would be bent over for 5 minutes, and I because there'd be one, two, three, four, five, and of course now it's really hard on the back. But of course the litter picker, even then you have to be careful when you're constantly. We pick up, we pick up thousands of pieces. Like we can, especially in the springtime, you can easily get 500 pieces in an hour. So even then we have to be careful, and that's why I like to stress to people, you don't have to. You just do 5 pieces, 10 pieces. Just do it relaxing, fun way
In a
out in the
fun
park.
way, yes.
Yes, yes. And get your friends, get your neighbors, get your strangers, join with strangers in the community and get out there and just have a good time and take it easy. The core group and PAL will handle the harder stuff, and the city will handle the hazardous stuff. Together, the
Yeah.
partnership, we can make Brampton litter free. We can honestly do it.
It is quite doable. It's not that you cannot do that. We
Yeah.
went to Heart Lake Conservation Park, and once we went on the side from Sandalwood, just beside the gas station. I think we got into the
Yes.
creek from that side, and the, the the trail was covered with animal poops. So many places, the poops right in the middle, big heaps, and I wonder why people do not pick up after their pets. It is simple step, but at least keeps people safe. And some unsuspecting people may put their feet on that poop. And just imagine gross experience they will have. They went for a pleasure, but now they are trying to clean up their shoes. So this is totally unacceptable. It's just a common sense. I totally get you doing so much heavy stuff, but this is something that you don't notice that. You are walking, you are looking somewhere else, maybe you are enjoying the trees or birds or scenery around, and suddenly, plop, your foot goes
Yes.
into that shit.
Well, nothing more disgusting.
It
And
is
the other
quite
thing, of course,
disgusting.
Paul, the other
And
thing,
then
people
plastic
put Primo
bottles, and
bags.
then cans, and then
Yeah.
pizza trays, and all those things. I don't know. Those places are meant for recreation, and those are not so heavily funded. How many people buy a pass for going to the Heart Lake? I don't see many of them.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the main thing we have to do, and that's what I try to stress, we have to get enough people involved to change the social norm. We
Absolutely.
have to,
It's,
two things that we have to do. We have to make it almost as disgraceful to walk past a piece of litter as it is to litter in the first place. Because in most cases, one person litters, 1,000 people walk by the litter. That would eliminate
yeah,
the litter. But the key is to change the social norm. Once people realize that the citizens, and that's the key, I try to stress, citizens have to take control. And once everybody in
absolutely. I
Brampton
agree.
realizes that, they're going to start to worry because now they realize it's their neighbors, their friends, their workmates, their schoolmates. So maybe they should think twice about littering. Now, the people that you're talking about with the dog poop, by law enforcement has to come in. You can't solve all the problems, but the social norm will get the casual litters, the ones that aren't, they're not bad people. They just think, well, someone's going to pick it up. And you know what? I don't want to walk all that way to the garbage can. I'll just leave my wrapper here. The people that leave
Yeah,
the dog poop, that's a different level. They're the people that have to understand that their neighbors are kind of keeping an eye on now, and the Brampton is enforcing their bylaw. And that's one of, I know we talked about that before about how we need more bylaw enforcement. And part of our goal is to, when we can get that thousands of people cleaning up the parks, we can free up Brampton labor. Okay, now we've done this work for you. We've put in, I really believe that we can put in $1 million worth of labor for the city if we all get together. So take the
yes,
people that you would normally use for doing what we did and enforce the bylaw. Go out there and do it.
absolutely.
You haven't had time now. We totally understand. And also stop the garbage from overflowing garbage cans. That needs to be enforced. Things like that, that now we have freed up the time for the city, which I see as a great partnership. We'll do the recreational type of stuff, but we'll save you a ton of labor and a ton of money. Now use that to stop the source of the littering. Stop the litter.
Yes.
I say we have litter bugs, litter thugs, litter bugs, litter louts, and litter thugs. The litter bugs,
Well,
we change the social norm. They'll join us. The litter thugs and litter louts there needs to be some enforcement.
to me, there are only two sides of a problem. Either you create it, let someone else clean that up, find a
Yes.
solution, and we pay the cost in the form of taxes or levies or whatever we pay. So the second is the one you are doing. Do it yourselves. If you created a trouble, solve it yourself, and let city do their own part, like enforcing bylaw. Talking about bylaw, I think this bylaw against littering is so tricky to enforce. How many places can city inspector watch? it is really tricky situation. People just slip things and nobody notices them. Someone notices that, they don't care. They say, okay, I'm not here to pick a fight with this person. I will just ignore it. Or maybe someone will say, okay, he created the litter, I will just pick it up and throw it in the trash can. So there are different scenarios for people to do. But after talking to you, I think when I go to trails now, I shall carry a sufficient bundle of those animal poop bag. Pick it up, throw it away somewhere if someone left it. It is so simple to do, and you are not being angry. You rather feel happy that you did something great.
You're right.
And you did
You're right.
something
You're
for
taking
yourself.
control. Yeah, when you take control, and that's the point I was going to make earlier. When you walk past a piece of litter, first of all, it does something, even if unconsciously, to your dignity and self-respect, because you've just walked past something that you know is bad, even maybe not consciously. That's
Yes,
why I want to get people involved in picking up litter, because then you know consciously that this is something that needs to be picked up. And if you walk past it, you send a message to everybody else that it's okay to do that. But once you pick it up, you send a message that things have changed. We're taking over. We're not going to allow this anymore. And people will start doing it. We can change
yeah,
this whole
and
attitude. We need to take control. That's what we need to do, and stop letting litter and the people that litter control us and ruining our lives. You mentioned about how you go to a park to enjoy it. When you go to a park or you go out, and I talked to a gentleman the other day looking over Tropical Creek, and he said, "Oh my gosh, Bill, I came here to meditate. And what do I see? I see a garbage bin there, and I see litter over there. It takes away
yeah,
our enjoyment of the parks. There's nothing more enjoyable to go to our parks that are pristine and clean. You know, you feel so
yes.
wonderful and great.
And you are connected to your roots because nature is our roots. So why we
Yes,
go to trails, why we go to parks? Just to be there where we belong. We go close to water because we are what? More than 80% water. Our brain is
we are.
80% water. That's why when we see water, we become calm. It is how things are. So now you go to enjoy water and you see that trash there by the shores, and guess what? You can't even sit there on rocks, relax. Now your focus is on all that trash there, and now you are stuck. You come
Exactly.
back and you are again in the same environment you wanted to escape earlier. So Bill, I know because now you have grown up into a very big group. I think you have close to how many 2,000 people on your group?
We're getting there, 1,700.
Yeah, so 2,000 is a big number, and those people are participating. Do you see uh, like youngers coming in there more, or middle aged like me, or seniors coming there to clean up? What's kind of demographic in your groups?
Well, let me be honest with you. We have 1,700 in the group, but there's not a lot of really active people. I mean, that do it up front. There's a lot
Uh-huh.
of people that do it in the background that we're not aware of. They're in the group, they pick up, and they're not seeking any attention. We probably, like, I mean, as I said before, the group cleanups in a small amount, and right now we have to change the demographic. There's a lot of people like myself, like our core group is actually like myself. I'm 75 years old. We're seniors. We're white people. You know, we do have young people. We had a great cleanup at Kiwanis Park just
Hmm.
recently, and we had a young man, Edward Papa, and he got 30 students to come out with them, and it was so cool because now we had seniors all the way down to, I think we actually one of our people brought their kids, so down to maybe 11 years old, and different
Wow.
cultures, different nationalities. I love seeing that. That's what I want to see more of. We have to. It can't be a small group of senior white people doing it, and it's got to be all the cultures getting together because it's
Yeah,
our
because
planet.
city is multiculturally diverse, so
Exactly.
why not
Exactly.
these groups be diverse and multicultural at the same time? And not only that, if all communities they come together, it will bring more harmony and will help each other understand better,
Definitely.
right?
Working
The
side by
problem
side.
with the
Yeah.
many cities is, and I won't say Brampton alone, because it is mainly dominated by South Asian community. I see that being there everywhere. But the thing is, Unless you talk to your neighbor, unless you meet mainstream Canadians, you won't learn the values Canada holds, and you won't be understood from your own perspective. So unless, because there are two sides to everything. So if they don't come closer, they won't understand you and you won't understand them. It is dialogue that helps create harmony among us. And this is a great setting. Like you are going, you are working, and you are showing common interest, which is keeping your city clean and also keeping your minds clean. Because when you work like this, guess what? There are no misunderstandings. It's all clear, crystal clear, and you enjoy your life. I can tell you one thing: when you go home, you must be feeling highly accomplished. Oh, I did this thing today. I'm so proud of myself.
You know, when I go home, and again, I did a lot of work on my own in the first year myself, and I always felt good. But there's no better feeling than when you go out with a group of people. Like on that last weekend in Kiwanis, we had 53 people, and my gosh, you had a picture of it, and it
53.
was horrendous. It was horrendous, and to see an hour later, see it all cleaned up. It was one of our fastest transformations that we ever had, and inspired by a young grade 10 student.
Wow.
That was remarkable. You know, here's the young people stepping up, you know, and I just can't get over it. And it just showed what we can accomplish. That area was despicable, disgraceful, appalling, and my gosh, like you said, the feeling, and like you said, you get a good feeling on yourself, but it's much better when you see young people and older people and different cultures and different ages, different, you know, different.
Yes.
Oh, it's so wonderful. I felt so great, and I keep on telling Brad Witt, who did it, who he actually sent me a message. He said, "Bill, I want to host the cleanup, and I wonder if you could help." Of course, I said, and he picked Kiwanis, and I thought, wow, 'cause I knew how bad Kiwanis was, and instead of complaining, instead of throwing up his arms in despair, he took action. Contacted me, got 30 of his other young people joining. This is how we solved the
Absolutely.
problem. You know, it was wonderful, and I still am, my heart's still so warm from that. I just loved it. It was hectic. There were so many people. You know, but it was see everybody running around and caring about the planet, showing their kindness to the planet, and having a good time. The young people are great. They're
That's a very
laughing
good
and
thing you
joking.
said, showing
Oh,
kindness to the planet.
yes,
I'm going
yes.
to keep this phrase.
Every time we pick up a piece of litter, we are showing, we are normalizing being kind to our planet. We're
And
making
we are
it
showing our
normal right now.
gratitude.
Yeah, yes, and gratitude is great. Yes, we're showing gratitude to our planet, gratitude for what the planet is giving us, and we need citizens around the world to do that. I am hoping, you know, my big ambition. I'm hoping we make Brampton litter free. I'm not hoping we're going to do. We are going to do it. We're going to make Brampton litter free 2023. Prove to the world that when citizens unite, when we say enough is enough, we get together, we can solve the litter problem. And then we will be an
Yes.
inspiration to citizens in cities across Canada and around the world because everybody will say, well, if Brampton can do it, we can do it.
Yes.
And you mentioned the South Asian community. And I want there's people in our group, Kitty Bazzer is one. Like we have some representatives there and they are fabulous, but I want to dispel this myth. I get it fairly frequently, oh, it's the immigration, it's the South Asians that are causing the problem. No, it's not. And I want the South Asian community to rise up and lead the way with the rest of us.
Yeah.
You know, we are not, you know, we are part of the solution. Don't try to blame us. It's a human all around the world, all around the world. It doesn't matter what type of community. It's
Well, I
human
will say
problem. And
this. I will say that no ethnicity causes this trouble, this
no,
littered
it's
problem.
true,
It is
true.
only the ignorance that is responsible for this. So, what you are doing is spread awareness that, hey, this is not city's job alone. You and me are equally responsible to keep our planet clean. So once people get that, they will do it. I know about a Sikh, old Sikh guy in Brampton who would clean by the road. As he walks by, he will start cleaning it up. I think husband and wife sometimes husband alone. Many people have shared his video doing it, and I've
I
seen
saw
him
that.
picking. I haven't seen him in person, but I saw his videos doing that. Someone posted on social media. But after that, I don't know if he's still doing it or age has held him captive and is not doing anymore. Because South Asians have different physique, different hormonal things and problems. So everybody is not as active as other communities maybe or ethnicities maybe. Sometimes it is in your genes. Some are very active, some are not. Some people are active in their 80s, some just lose their luster of life even when they reach 55 because of genetics. But I see those videos and I get really inspired. I actually wanted to come to one of your events. I actually RSVP'd once, but my time conflicted with a client meeting. I missed that. I think that was early morning, and that's when my client wanted to see me. I said, okay, today I wanted to
Well, you
go
know
out
what?
and be there. So
Yeah.
now it's good to
First
see
thing,
that you are getting students. And talking about students, do students get any kind of volunteer hours? They sometimes need to get that kind of stuff in their
yes,
college student life.
yes, and that's like thank goodness I had some other people helping me because there was quite a few people at that cleanup that needed to get signatures for it. And what I am trying to what I would love to do is make it even easier for them. And I tell them this. I said, listen, you can come to clean up with us, older people, and we'd love to have you. We'd love it. But if you
Yeah.
want, you can get a group of friends together, pick a park, let me know. We'll work together. I'll get you the pickers. You do a write up on it, get your pictures, and we'll post it. And I'll give you your volunteer hours. So that way, and you can organize, you can plan it yourself. Like Brad Witt, he takes a lot of pride in the fact that he initiated it and he deserves that. He earned that. And I want to give
Yeah.
them the feeling that they earned it themselves. They organized it. When you do, it's kind of like I said about the backyard thing. You clean up, someone cleans up your backyard. You just expect them to do it all the time. When you do it yourself, you take that pride and ownership. And you get
Hmm.
young people doing that, and even having like in PAL have a youth division where they organize it and plan it themselves and come up with it. They have to feel like they're in charge, and then it
Yes.
will inspire. But Paul, the ultimate solutions for every one of us to make a commitment, and that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to work on all the leaders of the community, make a commitment. You can say pick up 5 pieces of litter a week,
Yeah.
50,000 people, that's 10 million pieces of litter a year. That takes 30 seconds. Or we can maybe go for 10 minutes. Everybody just say, listen, I care enough about my city, my planet, the future of my children and grandchildren to donate 10 minutes out of the 10,080 minutes available in a week. You know what? I'll give 10 minutes to my city and my planet. And
I
we do
totally
that with
agree.
50,000 people. It would be so simple, so simple.
It would
Then
be
we
so
solve the
simple,
problem.
and I noticed that you have a website, www.peopleagainstlittering.ca, and everything is up there. You want to donate, just click the link and donate.
Well,
So
let me
I
say,
was
Paul, I
actually
just want to
going
say
to ask you about your website, but then I just typed it in and saw it. It says
but
BA
that's in
Paul.
development.
This is a
Yeah, that's in
phenomenal
development.
acronym
Yeah.
you got there. And I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you designed the name of the group by this word or it just automatically happened. PAL, Paul. Be a Paul means be a friend. Be someone who can work in collaboration. Be a Paul.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. And first of all, I must make a comment about the website. It's in developmental stage, so right now you can't really go there to make a donation. I'm working on that. I want to get some people together. But it's interesting. The first time I created the Facebook group was called Let's Clean Up Brampton. And then I started thinking, wait a minute, it's not just cleaning up, And then I said people against litter. And then I
Yeah,
thought, well, wait a minute. Then I realized you could get a URL with people against littering. And I thought, well, it's all, you experiment different things. And then I realized you don't want to just feel like you're against all the time. So the pal things come in nice. And that's why I always finish my correspondence with be a pal or a litter free Brampton. So stress the positive side of it versus, against. We're for a clean and beautiful planet. We're for people working together, proving to the world what we can accomplish. Yeah, it's
Well, this
really,
is so
it's,
apt. I really like this acronym because it gives the core message. You
mm,
want to have a team of like-minded individuals. This is who pals are, like-minded people. In my times, we used to find pen friends. Well,
yes,
there was no
yes,
internet. I think you
yes.
must have some pen friends too in your younger age. So I used to have pen friends, writing letters every week and then communicating with them. That was our way of creating friendships. No, it's more instantaneous. You just send a request, you say yes, and then you start talking, sharing pictures. But during those times, we actually used to mail out our pictures.
Young people wouldn't believe it, would they? Oh my gosh, we actually said right. Yeah, yeah. Times have changed, Paul, so quickly too.
It has changed a lot. Like, I think our generation is the only generation that has seen tremendous strides in political, geopolitical, technological fronts, or even demographics. We have seen a lot more than any other generation would have seen.
Yes.
So, coming back to your funding, because I know what you're doing now with 53 volunteers. Is that the number right? If I heard it right?
That was on the last cleanup. There was 53 people,
53
31
people in
students and
your
20.
group. So definitely you need to give everyone the tool to pick up garbage bins. I don't know if there is safety gears. So do you provide them or they buy their own stuff?
We provide them. So anybody that comes out, we have, and that's where the city has helped a lot. They have given us, oh my gosh, a lot of litter pickers, over 100. I did get a donation one time from a wonderful company called Bimbo Canada, a
Hmm.
bakery, they Dempster's bread, and we bought a lot of litter pickers there. But I've been relying on the city, and they've done a wonderful job. So we provide the pickers, we provide the bags. We have the city actually provides the bags also. If anybody wants to
Really?
do it, anybody wants to organize a cleanup, you register with the city of Brampton. They will provide you with bags and disposable gloves. I dislike disposable gloves because they become garbage, but we want to
Yeah.
get more funding so we can provide even more. I mean, we do have goggles available, and I want to be able to give gloves to people because the people, instead of the disposable ones, and so that's what we need funding for. We need to do, I need to get a better team together. Right now I'm taking on too much myself. We wanna perfect this cleanup thing. We wanna make it half a cleanup, half a social event. Because people come out, and sometimes I have to ask myself, why are they coming out? It's not. Sometimes it's not easy. They clean up after a couple of hours out there cleaning up, and then they leave. We've got to make it fun. Got to make it fun for them. We got to make it meet people, and that's what we have to do more of in the future. And that's where we need to get funny, have food and things we eat, drinks, and then we enjoy and have a little get together in the beginning, clean up for an hour, come back and celebrate what we've done and have a draw, do these little things that make people make people feel valued and appreciated. Thank goodness we had an appreciation event there a couple of weeks ago. Heart Lake Happenings and Heart Lake Turtle Troopers, two other wonderful groups. They
Hmm.
invited me to be a host of a volunteer appreciation for all three of our groups, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful to show the appreciation to the people that are doing it, the volunteers. They're the heart and soul of a vibrant community. They need to
Yeah.
be rewarded. They need to get, even though they don't seek the recognition, we don't seek it, but I'll tell you, we love it when we're out there and someone says, thank you so much for what you're doing. I had a 13-year-old girl walk up to me out in Kerbal Park. I was picking up litter. And she said, oh my gosh, what you're doing is so sweet. I thought
I
it was so
saw
sweet.
videos on your group, in your group, where I came across this video, a little girl, a very little girl, she could barely hold that wand and she was trying to pick up some piece of plastic and
Good.
put it in the bag. And I was just looking at it, mesmerized. And I thought,
So
hey
cute.
girl, you could just pick it up with the hand, that would be easier for you. She has such a
So cute.
long wand
Yeah.
and she's trying to pick it
I
up.
know.
That was so
We need to
cute.
get,
I appreciate
yeah.
that. So those kids are getting this in their head at their younger age, and it will stay in their mind forever. They will definitely be against litter in the future. This is a value parents are giving their children, which is great to see. So,
And the schools are
as I
picking up.
gather, is your PAL is not yet registered as a not-for-profit organization where people donate and can get some benefits.
We are a nonprofit, but we're not a charitable organization, so you can't get a tax credit. All you
Oh,
can get
okay.
is this wonderful. All you can get is a wonderful feeling in your heart, like I'm
Yeah.
helping save the planet. But yeah,
Absolutely. Well, that goes without saying. But some
yeah,
people have, or some business have a lot of money, and they donate millions of dollars to hospitals and this and that. Why? Because one thing is to feel good. The second thing is to write off their taxes. So they do it all the time. It helps if some organization have that kind of status, which is cool, pretty cool, because
I
so
have.
you are
I have.
buying the wands, but city helps you with the garbage bags and gloves if someone wants that.
Well, city provides the wand. They provide most of the litter pickers. The
Oh,
majority
they
that
put
I've
a litter
received
picker
over the last.
too.
Yeah, yeah. They started with the six. That was the six, and then Jessica Scott kept on sending them periodically. So it's just we did
So
get some extra ones.
if someone wants to start a garbage cleanup or littering cleanup, so how early do they have to call city that, hey, I'm going to do this in this area, and then I need these supplies? How much time does city need to provide those supplies?
They like to get 7 days notice. There's a couple of reasons too. You got to remember someone else may have plans to clean up that same park. So if you don't
Oh, I
let the
see.
city know, you may go and find out it's all cleaned up. So when the city gets it, they check and see if anybody else has registered to clean up. And if they have, they'll send back a notice saying, well, someone else has already committed to doing that. You can choose somewhere else. So that's really important because there is nothing more frustrating to have a whole group of people going out there all eager to clean up and there's nothing there. So that's a big part of it. And then they, of course, like any organization, they like to advance notice. That doesn't mean you have to. I mean, we have been, I admit, the Parks Department is probably very frustrated with me because often we don't know until a couple days beforehand. Somebody will call up and say, hey, Bill, there's a mess over here. And Sandy and Wilma and Doug and Victoria, we're going to go clean it up. Okay, well, let's put a little post out and see if we get some more people. So maybe only a couple of days notice, but they've been very forgiving of us because they appreciate what we do. They really do. And when we meet people on the field, often, often they'll hand over equipment. There's one lady in our group, a wonderful lady, Victoria Reynolds, and her husband. Doug, they're out all the time. And when she sees city people, she'll say, hey, have you got any litter picker, any bags for me? And they'll say, hey, and often they'll give it to her because they really do appreciate what we're doing. So the parks are great. You try to give them advance notice. And that way you don't have to worry about calling in to have the garbage picked up because everybody wonders, well, how do you get the garbage picked up? Well, they have it on record, so they know, so they'll arrange on the next day to pick up the garbage. If you give them a short notice, it puts them in a bind. They probably won't be able to get out right away. They will still get out. But they're you know what? They're wonderful people to work with. They're like you said, you made a very good point in the beginning. They have limited staff. They have over a
Yes.
thousand parks to clean up. They cannot do
Yes.
it all themselves. That's where we have to step. We have to step up. We have to form this great partnership with the city, but with the citizens leading the way. We want the people to know. People often, if they think it's a city thing or a political thing, they think, oh, why we don't want to help them? They're just trying to get free labor. But no, it's up and beyond that. We're out to save our planet, basically. Our
Yes.
planet is being destroyed by litter, get washed into our creeks. So yeah,
Well,
they're
I
great,
looked
and
up at
you
that
try to.
tarp, big tarp. One of your volunteer was
Oh
dragging
yeah,
from some,
yeah,
I think, Etobicoke Creek. That
yes,
was
yes.
pretty heavy. It was so huge, and he was dragging it down all the way.
That's Norm Alcoin, and he called me. We were in the creek. There was four of us that day. He says, Bill, I got this big tarp we got to get out. So I went over and I helped them. It was full of mud. See, what happens? These things get in there for years, and it's not the weight of the tarp; it was the mud. So we're pulling and trying to really struggle with it. We had to pull it through about 30 meters of bush, I think, to get it out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, some of the mud gets off it, But once you get out on the trail, it becomes easier to pull. So it's like, okay, Norm, I'm going to film you now. And I have done that many times with tires, with shopping carts, and Norm is another one, is terrific. You saw him there, he's laughing, and this is
Yeah,
the
I
type of
saw
people
them
we
doing
are.
fun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I
and
noticed that.
that was just one of so many heavy things. We have Hank and Tony. They're digging out shopping carts, or we get sleeping bags, we get tents, and the worst is they're buried in the mud and gravel. Or you get a foam mattress that's soaking with mud, and it's so hard and heavy to get out. It's that part of our
Yep.
big challenge is not just getting it out of the creek. We got to get it through the bush and down down the trail to a pickup point. Sometimes that's the hardest
It
part.
was very heavy. I can tell by the look of it.
Yeah,
I can tell you it was
yeah,
pretty heavy, and he was dragging full force.
yeah,
It was kind
yeah,
of workout for him, maybe. But you cannot
and
do these
laughing.
things if you are not enjoying it. It's all about
Yeah,
having fun and
yeah, we
then a
enjoy it.
feeling of accomplishment. If these two things are not there, nobody will volunteer.
Yeah. No, we feel good about what we do, and then at times I'll tell you, it gets very frustrating. You do get thorns. Like we get little pieces of plastic on a thorn bush. You try to get that out and you're reaching in, and a lot of times we should be wearing more protective equipment, of course,
Hmm.
but at times you don't, and you end up getting the scratches. And as I said, my wife, often I'll come home with, I don't have my hat or something, and I'll be bleeding on my arms or something.
Absolutely, you
Again,
need to protect yourself.
again.
That is what your wife should be worried about. You can't be
We love
going
it.
home all bruised and bleeding and showing, hey, I did this. I accomplished
No,
something, but I am bleeding.
doesn't inspire people to join, right? But like I said, most of it is picking up in parks. You're out there, you're enjoying. It's an open park area. That's the enjoyable side. We're kind of stubborn, and I have to admit, my son always said to me, he said, "Bill, he said, Dad, you love punishing yourself." I think I think I do. I think I
Well,
do.
I
But
sincerely hope that people who would be watching this video interview later on, they get motivated and they start opening their own chapters of PAL in their own municipalities, for Mississauga, for Caledon, for Vaughan, so many great neighborhoods, but being spoiled by all that trash that goes flying everywhere. And when it is storm, sometimes so much trash comes onto our driveway, like those
yes,
strewn, what do you call, styrofoam boxes.
yes,
When people get food, just throw it on the street, and then when the wind blows, they are just thrown somewhere. So I keep picking them up from my own driveway, off and on. My neighborhood, this house has about 10, 15 tenants. They keep coming and going. They don't have any sense of belonging to the community, and they eat something, they throw it on their driveway, and when it is windy, those things, they just jump over my driveway, and I have to do the cleanup all the time. And when I'm doing lawn mowing, I go all the way to my neighbors too, because sometime when I'm not home, they do my snow. This is
good
how
for
we
you.
create great relationship with people.
Yes. You're right.
So
The greatest source of litter is actually litter that's going from garbage cans and recycle bins. It's not, people tend to blame everything on these. Apparently, there's tons of people going around littering. There really isn't. There really isn't. It's
yeah,
only a small percentage. And then the plazas, too, are a big problem. It's all that food, food, vegetable bags, food produce bags blowing out from the plazas and receipts. Those are things that we really need to get the city to work on. So, as I said, we free up the time for them, then we'll work on finding this. We have to stop the source of the litter. That's the ultimate thing. And we got to stop the single-use plastics being produced. We got to stop the styrofoam containers being produced. That will lead to the ultimate solution. But for
well, I
now,
would
we have to.
suggest to anyone who thinks that they want to organize something similar to what you're doing, get a hold of you and seek guidance,
Sure.
because there's no need to reinvent the wheel. You have already created a framework, and you know how to get the things rolling for a particular neighborhood at a faster pace. That becomes so easy. Someone can just say, hey, Bill, I need your help. Can you help me set up something for Mississauga? I want to do this area, then you can always drive them in a proper direction. Are you up for this?
I'm up for anything that'll help clean up our planet. But again, I
You are
have
not
to
only for
emphasize the
Brampton, you
key
are for
is,
the whole planet. So Brampton
yeah, I
is a
mean,
small area, 680,000 people, and less than 1% people trying to clean it up. I guess we need to wake up. We need to get motivated. We need to learn from people like Bill and his team of 53 volunteers who are doing it tirelessly. So, are you telling me that you only have one event per week or more than one event per week, Bill?
no, and first of all, it's not the 53 was just that one cleanup. We have a team much larger than that, so I don't want
Oh,
people to
okay.
think only 53. Like we have 1,700 people in the group. We have had out, I suppose it's hard to figure out. Maybe we have had 150, 200 people that have been actually come out to group cleanups. Others are
Yeah.
cleaning up on their own. We don't see about. So it's a much broader than that. That was just for that one particular.
And
And I'm sorry,
there
the
are
question you asked.
680,000 people in Brampton, and the
Yeah, still a
total
very
square
small percentage.
footage of Brampton is 267 square kilometer. About 2,500 people live per square kilometer, and if you divide that kilometer among 2480 people or 90 people or 2,500 people, well, it's 0.0000 something per square kilometer for them. Even if they
Yes.
start cleaning their surroundings, I think city will clean itself.
Yeah. But the key is we all have to take responsibility. We don't
We
walk
have to
past
take
litter anymore. We
responsibility.
pick up
It
our
is, it is
five
so
pieces a
easy.
week. Yeah.
Would you like to say some final words, Mr. Godfrey?
I think I just want to stress to everybody again. I think we've been pretty well saying it throughout the whole thing. We can we can make a Brampton Litter Free 2023 miracle happen. We all get together, we make our commitment for 5 pieces of litter, 10 minutes a week. We can accomplish something remarkable, something never done before in the world. It'll be fun, it'll be exciting. Join us on this journey. You will not regret it. And then we have the opportunity to inspire citizens around the world. We have an opportunity to make history. So my message is please join us.
In the afternoon time, because I'm mostly available after 12 o'clock.
Yeah, you asked just quickly, you said how many cleanups we have. First year we were having 2, 3, 4 a week, and
Yes,
then and the second year, this year I've kind of petered off because I'm trying to make people understand cleanups are not the ultimate solution. The ultimate solution is, it's cleanups done by a small group of people and not the ultimate solution. We have to get thousands of people involved. So that's what I'm working on big time. But we were doing like 3, 4, like over 200 cleanups over the 3 summers. Other people happy with doing 1 or 2. We were doing like 6. We were like one or 2 a year. We were doing like 3 or 4 a week.
here for a week. And what about the winter months? So, is there a cleanup going on in winter months too, or it's stopped in winter because it will be
Well,
snowing?
we have had cleanups in the winter and some very cold days. New Year's Day we had one. I mean, a lot of us individually, if you'll see certain areas, sometimes you have the snow, but there'll be certain areas that'll melt. And it's more like an individual type thing. You see the litter, so you go for it. So you see, oh, it's exposed, so you go after it. But what I say is we do it spring, summer, fall, winter, whenever litter is exposed. Whenever we see litter, we go after it. We may not have group cleanups because you don't want to get 30 people out to pick up a small area that's open, but as individuals, we feel it's our moral obligation. We see it, we pick it up. And so yeah, we've picked up every season of the year. And I
Okay.
sometimes like
One
in
thing
the
that
snow, for
just
example.
came to my mind, I'm not sure if this is related or not, but let's say people are uh, coming to your cleanup campaign for a particular spot, and then someone falls or gets injured or this and that. So, Hall is not responsible for anybody's injuries. So is there any documentation that you get this volunteer sign, or they can just it's understood?
We do have a waiver. We have it when people sign up for an event. Now I realize they might not read it, so we try to get people. Again, it's kind of archaic, but we like for the cleanup that we had on the weekend, they sign a waiver. I mean,
Yes,
I need to get people who have tech knowledge. We should do it online. Like the city of Brampton, they have that when you register for a cleanup, they have at the end, they have a waiver and you accept responsibility. So you have to click that off before you can participate. We
that
need to
is
do
that is
that,
very
you
nice
know?
because
Yeah,
otherwise
so
there
yeah,
may be claims for no reason.
exactly. Yeah, we have to be very careful about that. Most people that I've seen, I've never seen anyone even hint at that they would do that, but you never know if someone gets hurt. I
You
wouldn't
never know.
blame them. No, no. So we
Sometimes
try to take
someone who
all
is
the,
breadwinner of the family or only
yes,
earning member,
exactly.
something happens, people are always going to come after. Hey, it was at your call. They got injured, this and that, so
Exactly.
we need you to pay us some compensation. But I'm happy to hear that you are actually handling that in a very professional manner. And I was going to suggest you if you didn't have that kind of set, but you are already covered.
We have a waiver, and we also need to get, but this is where you get into money. We have, being a nonprofit, there's a certain amount of protection, but that's not enough. We need to get, I believe, when you apply for grants, for example, with the city, I believe you need $5 million worth of liability insurance. But
Mhm.
being a small group and not having any funding, I haven't been able to do that. That's something else we need to get for further protection
Well,
and
when is
protection for
your
someone who's hurt.
next cleanup coming up?
Well, right now it's winter, so right now I'm going to be concentrating on trying to get people like yourself saying, "Hey, I am Paul Cheema. I am making a commitment to pick up 5 pieces of litter." You post it on your social media and you challenge everyone else. I want to get the
That's cool.
website. I'm working with
I'm up for
someone.
the challenge.
Yeah, and the people I've talked to, I talked to a gentleman on the week, Mike Giove, who was involved with children, done a lot for the
Yeah,
community. He was a
I know
previous,
him.
he was a,
He
he's
ran
a
for
wonderful
counselor.
person. Yes, he's a wonderful person, and he said, "Bill,
Yeah,
I'm on board." So we get people like yourself, people like him, the mayor, but the citizens, and we all commit. Now, that's what I want to get on that website. Working on that. So that's why I'm not going to ask you to do it now. Once we have the website, you have a place to go to. And then I can also go to the city and say, "Look, guess what? I got 5,000 people who have committed to clean up the city. We want to form a partnership now, work with us." But and it'll get people excited. People excited. They'll see the numbers grow. And then every time Paul picks up 5 pieces of litter, goes there. Paul has picked up 5, and guess what? The group number is now up to 25,000. Next week, we're up
fantastic.
to 100,000. Now we're going to get
Well,
everybody
I'm in
excited.
for this. I
Yes,
promise to you, wherever I see a letter, I'm going to pick it up and send a picture to your group. That's my commitment to
I
you.
love it. I love it. That's great.
Yeah,
That's
and
great. And
if you
somebody
ever
just,
host another event, let me know. I would
yeah,
like to sponsor some refreshment for the group.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's what
count
we
me in
need.
for
People
these little gestures. That will be our grateful to you, and you're grateful to the Mother Earth.
and I understand you'll also come and sing and dance for us. I heard that you're,
I
no,
wish. I just took off my knee brace. I think I got some kind of
oh no,
MCL.
oh
Doctor
no.
suggested I put brace, and they gave me some kind of diclofenac salt to rub on my joint thing. Some little issues, it will go away. So I wish I could dance. I'm the worst dancer on this planet.
No, you can't be worse than me.
And my
I
wife
think you
keeps
need,
joking. My wife's dances very well. And women in Punjab, they are actually good dancers. And she always laughs at me when we go to marriages. And when the band plays, everyone is dancing. My only move is like this. That's all I do.
the
And she laughs at me. I say, okay, I'm still participating.
Speaking of the Punjab community, I love what I've seen a few of them say to me when I thank them. I told you before, my city, my duty. My city, my duty. Let's all think. Let's all remember that. My city, my country, my duty. You know,
I
it's a
guess we have to get
beautiful thing.
communities involved, and this video may help us, see them the other side to littering. They would see that some people are doing it. It's only a matter of putting ourselves in front of others so they can get motivated. It's a trigger, right? So unless
Yes.
we give them a trigger, they will not be motivated. So something, some fun event happening, like dancing, cleaning, having some refreshments. It is a great thing. It's a cohesive group. It has so much power in it. People can
Yes.
clean the whole planet if they took it upon themselves. Look at trillions and trillions pounds of the garbage that travels in the seas, and countries are transporting garbage from one country to the other country because some need them for landfill. They're using it somewhere. The garbage is a big problem, and the cost associated in cleanup, it runs in billions of dollars.
And
Well,
yes, and
thank
it's
you very
really,
much, Mr.
yeah.
Godfrey, for your time. I know you are extremely busy. I really appreciate you giving us time and share your thoughts with us. We would like to keep calling you off and on. If there is any project going on, please keep us involved. We can come on site with our cameras and start recording live.
That would be great. That would be great because a lot of times on our cleanups, I've said to the people we're with, and I said, if only this was being filmed, people don't see the wonderful things we're doing. You know, like I
Yeah,
said, our people are tremendous. They're on their knees. They're pulling out things from out of the dirt. You know, we're taking shopping carts out. We need to get media attention, and I really appreciate what you've done today. We need more of that. Feel like I'm letting my people down because we have done such tremendous things, and no one knows. Out of sight, out of mind, and
out of
it's
sight, out of
sad, and that's
mind. Yeah, nobody
yeah,
thinks, nobody goes there.
nobody knows. Nobody
People
knows.
are more into uh, watching those destructive things. I was
Yes.
really amazed at some person's thought process, and he was saying, I can watch a video where this giant shredder is shredding metal pieces, and I see them throwing carts, big tires, metal pieces, tables, cars into that shredder, and it keeps breaking down, churns them into smaller pieces, and that I can keep watching those videos for hours together. Why? Because our mind likes destructive stuff more than constructive stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we are leaned towards negativity more than positivity. So negativity is natural. It comes to you by itself. You don't have to plan one morning. Okay, you know what? I'm going to keep my mind negative today. You don't have to say that. But you have to say, I am going to stay positive today. Otherwise, you will not stay positive. Negativity comes by itself. It is available everywhere. Positivity is a treasure. You have to work hard to get it.
Very true.
So your positivity reflects in what you're doing, and the pride I can see on your face. I can see the passion of what you're doing on your face, which is phenomenal. And this is what will light up that light in the mind of so many people who would see this as a great opportunity to tell the world that they are humans and they care.
Yes, yes. No, yeah, I am. I mean, I'm so proud of anybody. I'm so proud of people, especially people in our group, but anybody that goes out there and picks up, cares enough to show kindness to our planet. The couple that you were talking about, I saw the videos too. They didn't have litter pickers. They were out bending over, picking up litter. You know, we need to go to them and reward them and give them something. You know, they're heroes of our community.
They are heroes of our community. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to find them. I will see if I can track them. Those videos, I think I saw them last year, but I will still try to figure that out. Mr. Godfrey, thank you very much once again from the core of my heart, giving us such precious time and showcasing what you and your pal is doing and how you started. But I won't advise people to lie to their wives. Tell their wives that they are going out to clean up so they can be taken care of if something goes wrong.
Thank you so much. See, people like you inspire people in our group because we like to see. Like I said, we don't seek attention, but we enjoy it when we get it. We enjoy when we see appreciation for what we do.
It's not getting
It's very
attention. I
important.
wouldn't say that. It is because unless you put
Appreciation.
yourself in front of other people and tell them what you're doing, they won't understand it. They won't get the
Right.
feeling of that, happiness unless they see what you're doing and how you're doing and what you're feeling and how your life has changed. Unless they see it, they will not, you know, get involved. It's not showcasing, it's
No.
just inspiring people. You should be doing it quite often, sharing to the world. I would like to pick up your videos if I have your permission and share in my groups.
Definitely. Definitely.
Thank you very much,
Thank
sir,
you so much.
and have a good
Thank
night.
you,
I
Paul.
will send you a link when it broadcasts. And you can also share our YouTube channel with your volunteers, and they will get the alert the moment they subscribe to the channel that your program has gone live.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Paul. Appreciate
Good
that.
night, sir.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Are you looking for a reliable legal office that can handle your closing in the most effective manner? If yes, please get in touch with Rakesh Joshi at 416 213 8600. Joshi Law Office provides all the legal advices about real estate law, business law, immigration laws, notarization and affidavits, wills and trust. Give them a call today, 416 213 8600. Are you looking for reliable immigration services? If yes, contact Sukhi Paul at 647 296 4575 or office phone number 905 790 8877. They are located at 219 220 at 7956 Torban Road. It's right at the intersection of Torban Road and Steeles Avenue West. Contact them for all kind of visa services. Finding an honest and diligent insurance and investment advisor is a rarity these days. If you are looking for great advice, contact Mr. Bhupendra Mane, who is the regional director of Cosmos Financial Center. They are located at Union number 830 Top Flight Drive, Mississauga. The phone number to call is 647 448 6229. Give them a call today. Is your business suffering from performance? If yes, it is the right time to call Ravinder Duggi at 416 807 7986. She will find out the weak points and the points where the performance issues are paramount and help you fix those issues. Give her a call today. Do not be late. Are you looking to buy or sell your home or any commercial real estate? If yes, call me today at 647 333 2273 or 647 379. I provide services in real estate and mortgages. I am mortgage broker with Akal Mortgages Inc., where when we say yes, we stand behind our promise. Reach out to me today. Do you want to shop right without burning your pockets? If yes, please visit Monisha Discount Warehouse at 377 Burnhamthorpe Road, East Mississauga, Ontario. They are the best. They have all kind of Indian, Pakistani and other local stuff that you can buy at literally throwaway prices. Contact them at 905 361 0773. Monisha Discount Warehouse. D.P. Jain is a well known name in the fields of accounting. You can contact him today at his cell number 416 305 0080 or his office number 905 790 9327. Once you start working with him, you will never want to leave him. He is 5-star professional. Call him today. DP Jain Professional Corporation. PC24 RETV is heard over so many different channels. If you want to promote your business for free, call me at 647 333 2273. You can also send your artwork to contact@paulcheema.com. We are here to be partners in your business success. 647 333 2273.